this video we will try to translate Moodle book module 2 into the same content but the form of H5P interactive book. We have to make sure that the editing is turned on, and we just add an activity from the set of activities. We choose H5P interactive content, the black icon, and now we have the choice to use interactive book. Interactive book may have a book cover, which I think may be a good idea. And first I'll copy and transfer the title for the whole book. On the book cover I will include the content, the introduction from the module 2. We also have the choice of including some media. However, the original doesn't have such, so I would skip that. And now we have the option to include some content in the interactive H5P book. So let's open first let's create a text introduction to that content, so that we have a place to move the introduction to this subsection of module 2. I paste it here. Notice that both formatting and links are preserved. Links link to dictionary, and they were added here automatically. Here, I mean in the original book, and they are transferred to interactive book as well. Now let's open the full content of the original book, and this requires us adding some additional content in the interactive H5P book. Let's think. In the original we have a paragraph, then we have a bulleted list, and then we have notice the menu contains several sub-headers, and we will try to recreate the structure in the target interactive H5P book. So for that content I suggest we just copy it and create yet another text content. Let's paste it. Let's delete some redundant spaces. And let's go to 1.1. Unless this is also worth copying, I'm still not sure. It's 0.1. Okay, let's copy it as well. Although I think we'll have to come back to that. Now let's go to 1.1, infographic, how the two languages coexist in one brain. No, I think that this section we located at the bottom of the previous text deserves to be somewhere in the Are these texts identical? No, so this is an introduction to subsection. let's come back, copy this subsection. Now let's add content from 1.1. Again, it's pure text. So I mark it with the following content that somehow develops the idea of 1.1, and let's see what infographics this is. Okay, this looks like a header for. No, it's just slides. So how to render such PDF? Let's have a look what content types we have. Class calls presentation would be probably the most appropriate. Dialog cards, they have reverse sides with answers to some questions in the front side. Drag and drop, not really. Drag the words, guess the answer, iframe embedder, image slider. We may have several images here, which may be an interesting idea. Well, let's download the presentation. Let's open it in Adobe Acrobat Pro, which some of you may not have. It's a paid version, but any software that will translate PDF into separate images would work here. I will translate that into separate images. And this way I'll be able to add each of those images, and they are being generated. I can already add images, each image responsible for a separate slide. So this will be the opening page. It's not decorative only, it contains a specific content, so I probably should, for the sake of people with visual impairment, translate that to and now I add another image. For the second slide, and that one is about language production. Then, wait, those are clickable? No. Then we have, so once again, the first slide, the title, the second slide, language production, but the third slide is language production as well. So we have a problem. How to translate that, how to explain that to visual impaired people with visual impairment. Let's say this is let's go back to the second slide. separate regions, language production, separate regions, policy. Responsible for separate brain regions, separate responsible for language production, and that's the slide number 2. For slide number 3, we have common regions. Common brain regions responsible for language production, and we add slide number 3 to that description. We add yet another image, which will be language comprehension. We add page number 4. We repeat the alternative text. We add yet another image, modulating factors, image number 5. We add yet another slide, language control network. Slide number 6. We add slide number 7 with this description. It's the last but one slide. And the last slide is just visit our web page. And let's see if this really works like a presentation. It does. So we have how two languages coexist in one brain: language production, separate regions; language production, common regions; language comprehension, modulating factors; language control network. And we have, if we want to make infographics PDF available as a document, which might be a good idea if you wanted to make an actual presentation out of it, because have a look, we have images, they slide nicely, but making a PowerPoint presentation, as if PowerPoint presentation out of it, you'd have to increase its cover of the screen, and it would be awkward anyway. So you might want to, for the sake of presenting using those slides for an actual presentation, you'd probably want to make a link to that original file. So I suggest that we go back to the module 2 main page. This is the module 2 we just created, but we add an activity or resource, and this is just a file, because we want to link the file. I don't think infographics is the best name for it. You probably would like to change that into something more informative about infographics, about brain regions responsible for language production. You would want this to be downloadable, not want to be open in a web browser, because the presentation for viewing within the web browser is just what we created with those slides. So we want to force download of this file. Oh, we want to show size and type, so I probably can get rid of this information I created in the brackets after the name, and I save and display that. I have to upload the file. That's correct. So I maybe change the name of it as I'm at it, and I drag it and drop to the page, and this way, have a look. We have a new link. It's a PDF, but we don't want this to be visible under the Moodle module 2 heading. We would like this to look like something like module 1, where we have a basic introduction and then names of the chapters, names of the modules, as submodules. So we wouldn't like this to be any of that to be visible to the user. So we have to do a trick, namely, well, we want this to be visible, but not in this place, only only below the slides that we just created. So what I do, I just go to edit next to this PDF file, edit its settings, wait a moment so that it loads, go to command module setting, and I don't want this to be shown on the course page. I don't want this to be hidden from students, because they wouldn't be able to access it even if it's made, if it's included as a link. I want this to be made available but not shown on the course page. And I save it and display. Well, there is not much to be displayed, so I go to module 2, I go back again. Notice that available but not shown, we have a blue tag here which indicates our operation was successful. I go to Moodle module 2, neurocognitive process, edit it, go back to our slides we just created, well, we created 5 minutes ago. We go to the place where we want those this PDF to be available, and well, we have those slides, and we go to the last one. We don't want to add any items, we just want to add a textual content with the information that the presentation and we mark the sections of the title of this text that we want to be linked to the to the PDF. Here is, hopefully, you have to really scroll up so that it shows the place where you insert the URL to our PDF. But interestingly, well, I have also to go back to our page where we created the PDF, where we upload the PDF, and I want to identify this, right click it and copy the link so that I know what to paste when I go back to the pop-up window. We want this to be probably downloadable as a new window. I think it will just download the file. I accept that, and I see that the section, those words that I highlighted and linked with the PDF link were highlighted, so it looks like it was successful. And go back to the I accept the fact that the page changed. I go to the end of the page and I see that apart from the slide that you can slide, there is also this PDF to be downloaded, and it actually opens a new page but also downloads the file automatically, which is exactly the effect we aimed for. Okay, so in this small tutorial we learned how to transfer text sections and book cover content from the original Moodle book format into H5P interactive book. We also learned how to create new content type of the form text and of the form image slider, and we decided that for a presentation that doesn't have any interactions, but each slide is just an image, it may be a good idea to create an image slider for each page of the presentation. And the final thing we learned was that such a presentation may be worth making available as a PDF or PPTX file that is downloadable below or just in the vicinity of the image slider that presents the slides within the web page, so that someone may download that file and use it as a separate independent presentation.